Play ball! Play ball! Blue 22!
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
All right, we are back. It is a Monday morning at 9:52 a.m. And we have a lot to talk about today. Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bry Man. And you can find the show on Twitter at Shane and Bry Man. Not and the Bry Man. It's Shane and Bry Man. That's how you can find it on Twitter.
You know what I like about 9:52 starts is you don't know if we're early or late. It's really impossible to tell. This should be our new time going forward.
9:52.
Yeah, 9:52. Why not?
Yep. All right, so we have a little bit to talk about with NFL. We got to recap last week how we did. Obviously, we tied because we picked all the same games. And then we will get into next week's picks, which we have an additional pick because we are going to do 2 of the 3 Thanksgiving Day games. And other than that,
probably won't matter for me, but
we have Mount Rushmore because we're going to be doing the Mount Rushmore of MLB players from 2010 until now. I'm excited to do that. I'm very excited about that one. I have all sorts of new stuff coming, like as far as camera goes and all that kind of stuff, a new computer coming. Hopefully that will alleviate some of our streaming issues that we've had in the past. I don't know if
technical
yeah.
difficulties.
Yeah. So I have all sorts of things coming. And I'm looking forward to utilizing all these things. And I'm hoping that this is going to make it go a little bit faster for the setup in the morning. And also just being able to, just the ease of use seems like it's going to be much better. So sure. So we have all that. We have a little bit more than that because we're going to be talking a little sorts today as well. We both finished Shang Chi. And I also watched Red Notice, which was with Ryan Reynolds, my man, Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, and Gal Gadot. Also, I can't wait to talk about that. And then I just started Ted Lasso. I watched the first episode.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. Looking forward to getting into it because we just finished the Mindy Project, which is something that we decided we just kind of spur of the moment decided to watch. And we finished all the seasons. Very disappointed by how it ended, but overall fun show.
I did not watch that show. My wife watched it. I'd have to ask her if she even remembers how it ended and if she thought it was disappointing, as you say. But the other show that I'm actually watching, another Apple TV original, Invasion, which I'll talk about a little.
I'll tell you that Let's Get Physical one or whatever it was with oh my gosh, the Aussie Rose McGowan. No, Rose.
Oh, Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne.
Yes,
yeah, that was
like
tremendous.
Yeah,
tremendous.
That's like the flash dance thing, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what that was? Yeah.
It is tremendous.
Okay.
Like
I like Rose Byrne.
It is really good. Like that is
that's like I find her
it's
very
funny
attractive.
but it's like on the edge of your seat, like, and there's lots of like they have the whole scroll across that was like it's basically telling you like eating disorders are a real thing. This is like something, and she has an eating disorder and she has to kind of battle that and all that. So, but like there's a big dynamic about the whole thing and just like some background stuff that goes on. It's really engaging. I love it. I can't wait for season 2 of that to come out. So
okay. I thought that was a one and done thing. So okay.
The other thing that you need to watch is Red Oaks. If you haven't watched it,
okay,
you would love that show.
All right, I will check it out.
It's on Amazon, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on Amazon. So at least that's when I watched it. That's where it was.
So we'll add it to the list.
It's only got I think 2 seasons, maybe 3. It might be like 2.5.
How long are the episodes?
What's that?
How long are the episodes?
I think they're like 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
All right. I
but
need some
it
things to do
is-
over my Christmas break, so
It is good. Like if you liked movies like obviously, I mean, I wouldn't compare it to Fast Times, but Everybody Wants Some,
Mhm.
the college one. If you like that movie, you're gonna like this. Like those kind of, it's all based on like a resort complex, like golf and tennis and
Yeah.
things like that. Paul
Yeah.
Reiser's in it,
Yeah.
and I think it was Paul Reiser.
Yeah, I think it is. Because I think you've mentioned it before.
Yeah,
Isn't he
I
like the
think.
bad? Is he
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bad
yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Okay.
He is, but he's kind of like he's like he you can see how people would like him, but he's also kind of scummy, like he's
Okay.
just like, makes lots of money and just kind of
Yep.
scummy. And but
Okay.
there are so many great characters,
Okay.
because Seth Meyers,
Of course.
he has a brother. I can't remember what his name is, but his
Yeah.
brother is a character in this as well, and
Okay.
it's tremendous. I think you're just gonna like it. I think you're gonna enjoy it. It is a fun episode,
Okay.
fun
I will
series. I really enjoyed that.
put it on my tab.
Yeah, those are two shows. All right, so we have. Let's get right into this. Right, we're gonna get right into what we have to talk about today, and that is NFL. So let's get into the NFL. All right. Let's get into it. NFL picks from last week. We're not gonna deep dive into these because we want to kind of move through and get to the next week's picks. We kind of already gave our thought process on what was going to happen. Obviously, some of the games didn't play out the way that we thought, but actually one game only because we went 3-1 this past week.
Yeah.
So gotta flip back a couple pages here. So Monday Night Football, Bears at Steelers. Steelers won. We both picked the Steelers to win. We picked it to be a little bit... Oh, no, that was 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Monday Night Football was Rams at 49ers. We both picked the Rams to win. The 49ers
Destroyed
won
them
by a lot, 31-10.
Yeah.
It wasn't even
Yes.
close. It was If you're a Rams fan or a Matthew Stafford fan or anything, Sean McVay fan, you're probably scratching your head a little bit because they've had some not so good games of late, and that's a little concerning, I would say.
It's a little upsetting too because it was the Von Miller Odell Beckham debut game.
Right.
Not great debuts.
No.
I mean,
and
when you lose
Odell
by that
Beckham
much.
is completely taking over for Robert Woods, and I know he's Odell Beckham Jr., right? But Robert Woods is a stud. And he is an integral cog in that offense, and he is no longer with the team for the rest of the year. So because he's out, Odell has big shoes to fill. Yeah. He can't like not be a huge part.
Yeah, right. He's not a luxury item anymore.
He has to be that guy.
He does.
And I don't know if he can. I don't know if they'll switch and put Cooper Kupp in that role. But
I don't think they'll mess with Cooper Kupp.
Beckham Jr. has to fill those shoes. He has to get into that role. He has to put up or shut up.
Yeah, it's like I said, he's not a luxury item anymore because now he basically slots into that number 2, which puts Van Jefferson at 3. Van Jefferson was way better at 4. Well, would have been better at 4 if Odell had been your 3.
Right.
But this also, Odell needs to succeed because that will help guys like Van Jefferson and guys like Tyler Higbee who need to be part of this passing offense as well. So, and if he can't step up, their passing game is suddenly very pedestrian.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Cooper Kupp is great, and he's arguably the best receiver in football. He's certainly the best fantasy receiver in football. Just because he's so wildly consistent, like from a PPR perspective, like he goes off for 10 and 100 every game. Like you could just pencil that in every game. But if Odell can't step up, suddenly Cooper Kupp is a guy you could double and I don't want to say triple team, but you could do your best to take him out of the equation and make them beat you on the ground with like, Darrell Henderson or, I mean, listen, if Van Jefferson and Tyler Higbee have to really step into crucial roles for them, it's not going to be good. This is the Robert Woods loss will be felt.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a tough guy to lose.
Beckham still has the speed and he still has the hands. He just needs to stop.
Well, he needs to
being
get
a diva.
acclimated. Well, that he needs to get acclimated to the playbook. I mean,
He does, but I would have to imagine it's not going to take him too long. He's been in the league for a long time. He's not a dumb guy. He's a diva. And
no, he needs to drop that. Well, yes. That's getting out of his own way has always probably been his biggest problem.
That's going to be the biggest issue that he's going to have to. That's the biggest hurdle for him and the team. So if he can do that, watch out, because he could be a huge role and a huge fantasy role going forward. If he can fill those shoes. So,
absolutely.
All right. So that game was obviously we both lost that game. We did not pick that. But then Thursday night came along and Pats at Falcons. The Pats absolutely destroyed the Falcons and continued to prove that Matt Ryan ain't that guy. He's got some good offensive weapons too. He's got some good offensive weapons, but he is.
Well, he's hurt. I mean, no Ridley. I mean, that really hurts that offense not having Ridley. And their defense is I don't even know, but putrid doesn't really seem to cover it. By the way, there always seems to be some sort of a tie to that Super Bowl loss every time the Patriots play the Falcons. So in this case, it was okay. So the whole 28-3, right? That was the score, right? That was what the Falcons were up by. So then, of course, the whole thing was 28-3, 28 minus 3 equals 25, and the score of that game was 25-0.
Oh God, that's like always a bullshit.
It is. It's very Q. Yeah. For the Q folks out there, they probably loved it.
Yeah. All right. So that was obviously a game that we both picked the Patriots. So now 1-1. Sunday Night Football with Steelers at Chargers. We both picked the Chargers to win that game. The Chargers did win. 41-37. It was a close game. It was a very close game for throughout the whole second half. There was lots of scoring happening, and but we both picked the Chargers. Huh?
Not a lot of defense last night.
No, which is weird because probably one of my favorite safeties in the game is Derwin James. I love that guy.
So do I.
And man, do they get a lot of points put up on them all the time.
They do. Yeah.
It is bad.
Yeah.
They even have some good guys on the D line. And
Bosa.
Yeah. And
Bosa, I think, was back last night. I think he finally played.
Just can't stop a team. It's like a complete sieve. It's like everybody else is just horrible.
Yeah, and it's I don't want to say embarrassing, but it's a little like
they're not. They will never be a Super Bowl contender until they start shutting some teams down. Because like the Steelers aren't a team that should be putting 37 points up on you.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. It's like Ben's not what he was, so to be giving up just to let them move up and down the field,
37 points is a lot. That's a lot for a team like that. Like I could see, wow, they scored 30 points. That's a big deal. But now you're talking 37. That's a big number. And the Chargers have all these offensive weapons. They should be putting up 30 to 40 points, against a team even like the Steelers. But
yes,
Jesus, man, that is.
Although the Steelers defense should have been a little better. I mean, whatever.
I mean, always, but still, I mean, TJ Watt was out, so
TJ was out.
That's a big hole, and probably would have, because I have him on my fantasy team, and good Lord, the guy gets a sack or two every game. It is insane.
Yeah. Oh, he's unbelievable.
Yeah. I tried to fill his void with Myles Garrett this week. I was like, oh yeah, Myles Garrett's got a good matchup.
Yeah.
Give me 2 points. Give me nothing. I was like, come on, man. I think he was like playing the Lions or something like that. I don't remember. It was terrible.
That was the Lions, it was like 13-10 they won.
Couldn't get to the quarterback at all. It's like, what the hell?
The Browns are terrible. That's a fool's gold team right there.
Well, as soon as they get, Chubb and Hunt back, that's a big upgrade for them, because Baker's not that guy either. So
no,
Baker
he's not.
He can't hold that team down. So he needs those running backs.
Yeah, he needs safety valves.
Yeah. And that when he has that, then it's like, oh, field's wide open. I can do whatever I want.
Not much of an excuse though, because whether it's Hunt or Chubb or Dearness Johnson, the guy's got quality running backs.
Yeah, I mean Johnson he's a good backup, but
He'd
those
be
other
the-
two guys are.
He'd be the Dolphins' best running back by far. Not
Well,
the
I mean,
best.
yeah, I mean
No,
he'd be
no,
the
no.
Bills' best running back. But
I mean, do
like,
you realize that Duke Johnson is now the Dolphins' best running back? He had like 3 carries for 15 yards yesterday. Every time the guy carried the ball, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards.
that's great.
Yeah, they didn't use him. That was it. He had 3 carries.
But and then we had our game of the week, which was the Cowboys
Believe
and
it or not,
Chiefs.
that's English. Yes, which was not the game of the week, as it turns out. It's very difficult to watch.
It was painful because we were both expecting big numbers to be put up. I had 35-28. You had 36-34.
Yeah.
And we both had the Chiefs winning, and they did, but it was 19-9, which is weird.
This game was compromised from the beginning with, Amari Cooper being out because of COVID, another non-vaxxer. These guys are hurting the NFL, some of them. I mean, there are certain situations where it's hurting the team. I mean, stand wherever you want on the vaccination, thing, but bottom line is guys not being vaxxed. I'm not saying that he couldn't have gotten it anyway and been a breakthrough case, but here's the problem. Because he is unvaccinated, him now being out with COVID means there's a 10-day window, which means he can't play this Thursday either. So he's hurt his team in 2 games. I'm not saying they would have won on the road in Kansas City with him, but their offense is more dynamic with him.
I'm not saying they wouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they would have because that's silly. They probably still would have lost. Dak was terrible. But you can't argue, though, that his presence doesn't improve their offense dramatically. The guy's a top 15 wide receiver in the league. He's really good. You missing him is a problem. I mean, he's the kind of guy when he's around, he makes CeeDee Lamb that much better. He makes their running game that much better. He makes their passing options like Dalton Schultz at tight end that much better. You're missing a significant piece. Again, it's not so much that he missed this game. It's that him being unvaccinated and then having to test negative twice in a row leaves him unavailable for the Thursday game. So he has cost his team 2 games with him not being in the lineup. Now, I forgot who are the Cowboys playing on Thursday. I mean, it certainly will be a home
Raiders.
game in Dallas for them. So, I mean, they're probably going to win that game anyway without him. But even still, 2 games.
It could be close.
It could be.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I'm sure I'll pick.
I
the
mean,
Cowboys that
I
game.
wouldn't say I love Carr, but I would also say I can't put it past him to put up a huge number. Because
Tell you what, yesterday I had Lamar Jackson out because he has this mysterious illness.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a quick call for a streamer, and I picked up 2 guys. I picked up Tua and I picked up Carr. At first I had Carr in the lineup, and then I switched it to Tua, which worked out well because Carr was not good. I'm actually really happy that I got to play Tua once this year and got a win doing it.
Man, you know what? I was like so close to putting the clip of you getting Tua. I almost put it into the stream deck. Like, when he got drafted, that whole clip.
Oh,
I had it, and I was like, "Ooh, I was going to put it in here because, if he ever talks about Tua, but we're not going to bring up Miami this week, so like, we probably shouldn't do it." And Tua, I mean, he had a good, but I didn't do it. Should have done it. Damn it! I could have played it right there.
He did play well this week, actually. By the way, what's going on with your Bills? That's a Jekyll and Hyde unit going on right now.
We can get into the Bills when we're talking about them, and because they're going to be playing on Thursday night as well. So
all right,
we can talk about them in a few minutes.
Fair enough.
So last week we went 3-1.
It warrants a conversation, though.
Yeah.
Because now those fucking Patriots are back in first place, and there's nothing more nauseating than that.
Yep.
You got a Tom Brady clip somewhere about a floppy dick on a field, because that would be really timely about now.
Oh, you mean
no, wait, that doesn't really apply anymore. How about the
well within your right to
if
throw a
Patriots
big
fans were
floppy dick
pieces?
on that field.
Jesus. Oh, you mean this one? Why isn't it playing it?
If Patriots
Oh, you can barely hear it.
Yeah, it's not very audible, but yeah.
If
Yeah,
Patriots fans were pizzas, they'd be cocksucker supremes.
There it is.
I did have it.
They're going to be an unruly bunch going forward the rest of this year because their defense is really good.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones is like check down central, so like he just operates very well within a very basic offensive system.
Which makes you think, like, I mean, early on, how much was it Belichick and how much was it Brady? I mean, obviously Brady's good. He's obviously very good.
Yeah, my brother and I were having this conversation last week because last year was so great because it forced the narrative that, see, it was really Brady all along. And it wasn't Belichick. Like Belichick, don't get me wrong, Belichick's a good coach, but he was a good coach with with an all-time great quarterback.
Right.
And unfortunately, this season is sort of not shifting the narrative, but it's at least allowing Patriots fans to say, well, no, Belichick really is a great coach. See, look what he's doing with a rookie quarterback. So, it's a little, I don't know, the whole thing sucks.
Darth Vader in the house.
Really?
Yeah. He said so true. I'm not exactly sure what he said so true to. Probably about Patriots fans being those pizzas that you like to talk about.
Maybe.
I know he's not a big Patriots fan either. He is a Packers fan.
Rough day, kind of a rough day for him yesterday with the Pack because I was watching that game. I had some fantasy because I had Justin Jefferson, who absolutely exploded yesterday. Just went bonkers. Packers, you know what though? The Packers are that's still a team that's going to be hosting probably an NFC Championship game if I had to guess. Although the Cardinals had a nice bounce back win yesterday too because I think they got themselves to 9-2. So who knows? Some good teams in the NFC. The NFC is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be, the playoffs are going to be very fun.
It's not as top heavy as the AFC feels. But I don't know. I still feel like the Chiefs are going to end up being the team that gets out of there, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like the Chiefs are maybe just starting to get it together a little bit. I don't know. Although they weren't great yesterday either though, so who the fuck knows? The AFC is a total I mean, it's a clusterfuck because the Titans losing to the Texans yesterday, that's just embarrassing. You can't do that. The fucking Dolphins beat the Texans. The Dolphins beat the Texans and turned the ball over 5 times. If you're the Titans, what is your excuse? I don't care that Derrick Henry's out. That is not an excuse. Because the Titans have beaten teams without Derrick Henry. They couldn't beat the Texans. That's embarrassing, man. It wasn't even like the Texans got out to like a big lead in that game too. Like, come on, man. Tannehill, if you're Tannehill, you got to take over that game. You got to step up. I mean, I know your running back is like Deontay Freeman or something, but you got to win that game.
He likes to only throw for about 180 yards. That's what he does.
Yes, he looked.
There's sometimes he actually throws up. With the Titans.
No, he can have big games.
He has had some big games. I mean,
he's had some big games.
He's throwing for about 4,000 yards.
Yeah,
what did he throw for? Did he throw for like 38 last year? Something like that? Was it that high?
3,800 yards?
Yeah.
He might have been at 4 last year. I know he had a ton of touchdowns last year too.
It was close, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. The Packers game was great to watch. Well, surprised he said that. Good for him for having such a positive outlook on life. I can't relate, but it wasn't. No, he's right. I mean, if you were not a Packer fan, it was a great game to watch. I mean, it was really fun. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching some of that game. I mean, I couldn't watch a lot of it because I was mostly watching Jets Dolphins, but I was able to kind of bounce around because I think that was a 1:00 game. So, yeah. So what are we moving on to now?
We have the NFL this coming week.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I hold on one second. We'll get into it. I have no idea what you're going to say. Oh, wait, there we go. All right. I had to shut something off and it wasn't shutting off from my phone. So, the smart house, not always that smart.
Yeah.
All right. So this coming week, we actually have on paper, a very competitive week in football. Okay, there are lots of games that aren't on paper going to be blowouts. There's lots of like 1.5, 2.5, 3.5.
Bears at Lions. We're not covering.
It's a competitive game.
Oh, it should be competitive.
But we're not going to cover that. That's
Maybe
the game that
Lions
everybody's
dub.
going to have on in the background while they're cooking and starting dinner and, all that kind of stuff.
See, I'm looking on YouTube and see how
Yeah.
frozen we were. That sucks.
Yeah, but we're back.
Yeah, we are. Okay. All right.
We're
Wow.
back.
That was okay.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
I don't either.
It's kind of crazy. Just kind of dropped out for a second, but we're back. Hopefully Brandon's still there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we got Monday Night Football, Giants at Bucks. That's going on tonight.
Yep.
This is probably the easiest game to pick of the week.
Yeah.
I am easily taking. I mean, so even with the spread, the Giants are given 11 points here. And it's a 50 point over under. I am going to say that the Bucks destroy the Giants with or without Saquon, because I don't think he's actually been officially, taken off the questionable list. So I will say with or without, because even if he plays, which he's probably going to play, he's not going to have a huge role. He just came back. They're not going to give him 30 carries. They are not going to do that to him. They do not want to hurt him going forward for the rest of his career. They need him next year. This year is not that important for the Giants. I'm going to say the Bucks go out and pretty much destroy him 35-20.
Okay. Well, we're similar in the point separation. I've got 24-10 Bucks. The Bucks just haven't been playing that great lately. I feel like it's going to be kind of an ugly game to watch. It's just going to be one of those ones where it's like, the Bucks slowly pull away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't trust the Giants offense to do much at all. Their defense has played, I think, a little bit better. But this isn't a great matchup. The Bucks have not been playing well lately. They're going to be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home. They'll do some damage. It won't be an impressive win on. If you watch it on paper, it'll probably look better. Like I said, 24-10, a couple touchdowns. If I was a gambling man, I would probably pick the Bucks to cover the spread. Mostly just because I don't trust the Giants offense. So.
Okay. All right. So now let's get into the next week. Actually, before we do that though, please hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Smash that thumbs up. And smash that notification bell. Everybody loves to smash.
It's true. You're not wrong.
All right. So then let's get into Thursday Night Football. This is where the games start to get a little bit more competitive. I'd say a little bit, because obviously the Cowboys game, they're favored by 7. But the Bills, 4.5, have not been playing well. They are favored, and they're playing in New Orleans. It is a 46.5 is the over under. Bills, I think they're going to cover this game. They have been playing so poorly but I am expecting them to step up and perform that the way they should be performing. Their defense, for one, they have big time issues against top tier running backs, and they need to figure that out. Every time they go against a good running back, they just seem to get lit up. Whether it's Henry or Taylor or whoever, they seem to get lit up. And even against bad running backs, they tend to give up decent amount of yards. And it's something that's plagued them since Josh Allen started. It even plagued them a little bit before that. They have always had a difficult time against the run. And I think teams are starting to figure that out. So they need to shore up that defensive line. And I really still think that they need a running back themselves, because right now their running back situation is, people can technically stuff the box if they wanted to. I mean, they don't have to stuff the box because they don't have a running back. So they can like double cover Diggs every time. They can, sometimes put more than a linebacker on Dawson Knox, who is a good tight end. And, even though he has Cole Beasley and he's got Gabriel Davis and he's got all these weapons, Emmanuel Sanders, if they're all covered, because they have no problem just kind of like keeping an eye on Josh Allen and not letting him run. They need somebody that they can just hand the ball off to and go and start freeing up those receivers. And right now they don't have that. So because of those two things, I'm nervous going forward. It seems like some teams started to figure that out and pick them apart a bit, but I do think they're going to get back on the winning stride, and I have them 30-24.
I've got this 26-17 Bills. I think they bounce back. They've not been themselves lately. They're a good team. This can only last so long. I will agree with you, though. It's a little bit of a scary matchup because the Saints do play good defense. And if the Bills are as susceptible to the run, I'll take your word for that because I obviously don't watch as many Bills games as you. But if the Bills are as susceptible to the run as you're making it sound like they are, this could be a problematic game if Kamara is healthy, because then you've got Kamara and Mark Ingram. Mm-hmm. And that could be a bit of a problem.
Yes. And Mark Ingram has like destroyed them in the past.
Yeah, and he's still a pretty effective runner. Again, I'm sticking to my guns, though. I'll say 26-17 Bills. I say they bounce back. They need it. They need to, because the Patriots are not losing this week. So the Bills need to keep pace. Mm-hmm. And I think that desperation will work for them.
I hope so. They have always struggled in close games. So that, and like all their wins this year, they've won by, double digits, like for the most part. And every time it's close, they tend to come up just short, which is not a good, not a good scenario for them going in the playoffs. That is, you need to win those close games, and they just have always come up just a hair short. Like Josh Allen stopped on the half-yard line,
This is where I feel like we need the Joe Girardi "It's not what you want" clip.
Yeah,
it's not what you want.
Yeah, it is not what you want. All right, so then we have the Raiders at Cowboys. It's a 7-point favorite. The Cowboys are 7-point favorites. 50.5 is the over-under.
Ooh, I have just the over on this one then.
And I have this a lot closer.
Okay.
I have the Cowboys winning, but narrowly by 3 points, 28-25. I feel like Carr is just going to put up enough points to make it a game. And I think that this is going to be the game that's probably going to be the most entertaining, just because it's going to be pretty close. And Dak can put up good numbers from time to time. I don't think he's very consistent, which is why I don't think he's a top half quarterback. And without Amari Cooper, it's going to be a difficult time.
So I watched a lot of Raiders Bengals yesterday, and the one thing I can tell you about the Raiders is that's a rudderless ship right now. That coaching situation is very tenuous. I mean, that guy's
a situation.
That guy's going to be gone. I mean, he's an interim, and that's that. Mm-hmm. The Raiders will absolutely be in, but they look like they lack leadership right now, because all the things that they were doing well at the beginning of the season, especially their offense's ability to move the ball up and down the field, there are plenty of weapons. I mean, even with Ruggs, being gone, he wasn't a major factor, to be honest. I mean, he had to keep defenses honest because of his speed. He could take the top off of a defense, but he wasn't a major contributing factor. There's still talent on that team. Darren Waller, my God. Oh my God, that guy's an animal. He is just an absolute beast. I mean, I get Travis Kelce is the top tight end in football, but Darren Waller is just a freak. Just a freak, man. He's fun to watch. That's a fun guy to watch. Yeah. But there's talent on that team. They got Waller. They got Jacobs. Carr is a very, very good, very above average quarterback. Let's put it that way. But they just can't seem to do anything with the ball. They don't move the ball well. I love Hunter Renfrow. They did not get him nearly involved enough yesterday. That guy is first of all, he's a fantasy PPR machine. But he's like every one of those, like he's like that Wes Welker type. He's like that Cole Beasley type,
He's like the Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods kind of like just get him the ball and he'll get some yards and get him the ball.
I mean, Cooper's a completely different skill set and talent level, but Hunter Renfrow is one of those guys you've got to target more often. And
Cooper's just the 2.0 version. Like he's that. I mean,
he's just a supreme talent though. But but they got to get guys like that the ball more often. So there's weapons there, but they're not moving the ball well right now. I do think they'll score in this game. I like the matchup for them, but I've still got the Cowboys by 9 here, 30-21.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there'll be some points scored in this game. Be a good little fantasy game.
All right. Now let's get into Sunday Night Football. That's the Browns at the Ravens.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this game. So this is a tough one to pick right now because we have no idea what's going on with Lamar.
No idea.
No idea what's going on with him. Things are weird. For all we know, he has long COVID. We don't know. We have no idea what's going on with him. He's just ill.
Well, what's weird about it is that so on Friday he practiced and said he felt great. And then over the weekend, he started getting like chills again. But they have tested him incessantly, and they're saying it's not COVID, which I believe. Yeah. I mean, they can't lie about it. So it is weird. That is very strange. Like just the chills, like that's your symptom? Mm. It's weird, right?
I mean, Michael Jordan's got that flu game,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, I will
got
tell
chills.
you
Let's go.
The most entertaining thing on Twitter, though, for a couple hours leading up to that game, and I was watching it because, again, I have him in fantasy, so I was keeping an eye on his status, and just the amount of jokes about his IBS and his immune system, and it's some of the Twitter comments, man, I was rolling. I mean,
Twitter can be fun from time to time.
Yeah, I can. There were some funny dudes on Twitter, no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him though because I love him as a player. I mean, he's just one of my favorite players to watch. So I hope he's okay. I really do.
Just got to hope he doesn't have an ouchie.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very bizarre what's happening with him. This is kind of a gross game, though. You're right. It's hard to call. His status makes this game very difficult to call.
So who you got?
I mean, listen, the Ravens.
Because we still don't know. Is Chubb back? I don't think so, right?
I don't know.
I think Hunt's supposed to come back before Chubb.
Yeah.
It seems like now. And Hunt didn't come back last week. They're expecting him to come back this next week.
Yeah.
But
the Browns are playing terrible. The Ravens may be without their best player. It's a hard game to call. I'm going to go with the Ravens. In a real ugly. How about this one for a score? 1916 Ravens. In just a really ugly kind of, I mean, just.
That sounds gross.
It just doesn't. I mean, the matchup sounds gross. Everything about it sounds gross.
So I'm hoping that. So my whole philosophy with this pick right here is that Lamar comes back, and I do think that Kareem Hunt comes back. So I think that's going to make
probably will play. But
I think this is going to overall make this a more exciting game to watch. But I still don't think it's going to be
palatable?
Great. Yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to be a little bit more exciting to watch because I think the Browns are going to be able to move the ball a little bit better. I feel like the Ravens are going to be able to play a little bit better. So I have the score at 28-20.
Yeah.
Ravens. So that's what I picked. But then we got to get into our which is the Rams at Packers. The Packers are 1.5 point favorites. 50 is the over-under. I have them going over. I will not say who I'm going to pick yet, but off to you. Who do you got?
Sorry, wait a minute. Sorry.
What?
This was. Well, I'm sorry. Who are the two? Packers and sorry.
Rams at Packers.
Rams at Packers. Yeah.
Packers are 1.5 point favorites, and it's the over/under 50. They're in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay. This game is a little easier to pick just because I'm semi-concerned about the Rams right now. Even though the Packers lost yesterday, hey, you know what? Listen, you got into a shootout against a team that offensively can move the ball well in the Vikings and a very consistent team. And the Vikings have big-time weapons. You've got Jefferson, you've got Thielen, you've got Dalvin Cook. Kirk Cousins is a very, very good starting NFL quarterback. And they had a good day.
He's good.
The Vikings had a good day.
I don't know if he deserves two varies in there.
Oh, did I say very, very good?
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, he's good.
He's good. Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's an above average quarterback in the league. How about that?
Yeah.
If I said very, very good, yeah, that's an embellishment. But I mean, listen, you didn't lose to a bad team in the Vikings. So you know what? Green Bay got into a shootout and they lost. I mean, if somebody had told you on paper Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 4 touchdowns and no picks at like over 300 yards, you'd probably be like, all right, that's a win.
Yeah. Chalk that up in the W column.
They played great and they played well without Aaron Jones. Dylan was fine. But you know what? You got into a shootout and you lost. This game probably has a shootout feel to it, but I'm still worried that the Rams are working some of the kinks out here. They've got new personnel on the team. They just didn't look great. I mean, not only that, they looked flat last week. And I think that's going to continue a little bit because it's not great for you to lose on the road at San Francisco. And then your very next matchup is in Green Bay. It just doesn't set up well for you. And I don't know, who knows what the weather will be up there. The Rams play in a very controlled weather environment. The Packers are used to snow and frozen tundras and shit like that. So I don't know. I don't like the matchup for the Rams here. I think there'll be some points, but I will go 31-20 Packers.
31-20.
Yeah.
Wow. It's quite the blowout.
That's what she said. No, that's not it.
No,
that's not it.
Yeah, that was a little wrong. But
I see Brandon didn't respond to your question about how do you feel about Rodgers.
I just asked. asked.
Okay.
So that's to be fair.
I'm
I just asked.
Well, because I know how I mean, we both know Brandon's let's just say Brandon's on the right side of history kind of guy. So
yes.
So I'm curious to see what he says about that.
Which is the left side.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm not technically on the left side. Technically,
I know you're not.
On the right side, but
you're on the right side, but you're on the right side. He's on the right side, but he's on the left side.
I'm still unfortunately a registered Republican,
I think.
but I am very much I'm just an independent at this point.
Yeah.
I just like to think with my brain. And
yeah, that's
fucking
what
stupid.
You should do, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's what you should do.
Like I don't really care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I just want you to think with your brain.
Yes.
And not join a cult. That's all.
That'd be wow. That's think that that's like something that you actually have to like.
Common sense should not be celebrated. Like it should just be a norm.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have to celebrate common sense now because not everybody has it.
Yeah. All right. So I have I actually picked the Rams. And the reason why is because even with the Bills, there's like unknowns when you're playing some of these teams.
Yeah.
Sure. And I feel like the Rams have been playing down to competition and getting surprised by getting punched in the mouth a bit. And I feel like they're going to go into Green Bay knowing what Green Bay is, which is a really good team with a Hall of Fame quarterback. So I feel like they are going to step up their game. And I feel like they are going to play to their competition. And I feel like it's going to be a very close game. Now, I still expect the Packers to go deep in their respective league in the NFC. And I expect them to, I can't say I expect them to go all the way. I can't say that I'm going to see them in the Super Bowl this year. Just because for some reason they always seem to like drop the ball as they're getting close. Obviously he's won it once, but still.
Yeah. Tim just texted me and he said, I like people with common sense, and the common was QOMN.
That's good. I like it. And then the Rams, on the other hand, they have so many weapons on offense and defense. They should have more chemistry. They just had a bye week. That gives Odell so much more time to get into Rams shape. Right?
So in other words, I have a chance to pick up a game this week.
Yes, you do.
Not that it's going to matter.
You also have a chance to lose another game this week.
Oh, that's true. I
can tell you right now where we're at. We are.
I don't want to know.
It's close. I mean, it's not that far. You're only 5 games back. I'm 25-8. You're 20-13.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great.
It's not. But
it's not terrible.
No.
All right. So I got the Rams, and you picked the Packers. So you got the Packers kind of blowing them out. I mean, 11 points is a lot.
Are we moving on to baseball? Mount Rushmore? Oh,
yeah.
let's do that.
I'm excited to talk about this.
Yes, I am too. Because I know we're going to have some differences. So, well, might only be one. I'm not sure.
So, but it's baseball, but it really is.
We haven't done a Mount Rushmore in a while.
I know.
This looks exciting.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Is that Stained? Who sings that song?
I don't know.
Ooh, I
maybe.
don't know. That's not good. I don't know. I need some help in that department.
Yeah.
That's like that 90s music department. That's not my wheelhouse.
There's some songs out there that you're like, it could be either this, or this.
Yeah, because it sounds like Nickelback. It sounds like Stained. It sounds like Linkin Park. I don't know. They all. I can't figure it out. It's probably none of those. I know it's not Nickelback.
So we did the MLB Mount Rushmore from the players from 2010 till now.
Yes.
Now, as long as you could have only played 5 years in that span.
You could.
But if you played and you played well, you have the potential to be in this. So there's plenty of people that have played. What?
Are any of your 4 no longer playing?
No, they're all playing.
Okay, mine too. Yeah.
For now.
For now, yes. Yeah, for now. One of them is probably
Close.
Yeah.
He loves baseball though, so I wouldn't be surprised he just sticks around.
I could see it. Yeah.
And we obviously are talking about the same guy.
Probably. But who knows?
Who knows indeed. I told you I had a long honorable mention list because I was looking through all sorts of players. I have a long honorable, like 8 people, and I'll just kind of speed through them a little bit towards the end. But I
really only had one because I wanted to just try to keep it,
But I also have a list of people who should have been in there, but they done fucked up. They
is that like the Robinson Cano list?
They either tested positive or cheated or all sorts of things. So
there could be a lot. Yeah, I mean that could be
that could be a list, right? I mean it
could.
So there's a couple of guys that I just kind of was like thinking about. I'm like, oh man, this guy had a really good year. I mean, good season. I mean, good career. What did he do? And I was like, yeah, he did, but cheated. So sorry.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I would call that the Robinson Cano list because he's a perfect kind of guy for that.
Yeah,
he would fall right into that category.
Mm-hmm. And not only cheated once,
twice. Yeah. Yeah,
2
multiple
times,
violations.
3 times a lady. All right. So let's get into our list. And we will start with the Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, sure.
And this is a guy that I was originally going to put my George Washington. And I ended up not being able to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's because of his postseason career. It's not necessarily because it's horrible, because he does have a winning record. But he has had some stinkers. But if you look at his career, you're having over the 10 seasons, over that time frame from 2010 on, 172 and 71 for almost a 71% winning percentage.
Wow. Okay.
2.38 ERA for that set. 2.3 ERA, not for a season, for over 10 years of baseball. 2.38.
Okay.
He has 3 MVPs. Mm-hmm. 3 Cy Youngs and 1 MVP. He had a .962 whip, less than a 1 whip over all that time.
Okay.
And over 2,300 strikeouts in 10 seasons. That is Clayton Kershaw.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I knew Clayton was going to be on your list.
He had to be on my list. He has put up some of the most impressive stats all time in baseball. The only hiccup is, and he does have a World Series.
Yes.
The only hiccup is he has had a rough postseason, which is his ERA, his career postseason in the ERA is like 4 something, which is like 4.19 or something. It's not great, but he does have a winning record. It's like, I want to say like 13 and 10 or 12 or something like that. But he does have a winning record. And he's had really good games and he's had really bad games. So that's the unfortunate part.
Okay.
He's my Abraham.
Good start. It's a good start.
He's my Abraham. Who's your Abraham?
My Abraham. So again, if you think Abraham is, the second greatest,
Basically, yeah.
whatever. For me, this was pretty easy because my George Washington was so easy. I had to go with Miguel Cabrera, a two-time MVP, a Triple Crown winner, a very rare feat these days. But from 2010 through present day, this guy has. Okay, let me just list this off for you here. Now, only once has he led the league in home runs, but he's still been a very prolific home run hitter. He has 502 in his career, right? He has once led the league in RBIs at 139. That was back in 2012. Although in 2013, his 2012 and 2013 seasons were remarkable. Both they were just so in 2012, he hit 330, drove in 139 runs, and had 44 home runs. The next year, in 2013, hit 348, had 44 home runs again, and 137 RBIs, so two less than the previous year. Yeah. Like identical years. But in that time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4 times led the league in batting average. From 2010 through 2020, and again, okay, obviously, as he's gotten older, the batting average has dropped. He's still a 310 career hitter, by the way.
I know. He's tremendous.
In 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, he was well above 300 at every one of those years. His lowest batting average in any one of those years was 2014 when he hit 313. He has had 4 times in that span he's led the league in on-base percentage, twice in slugging, twice in OPS. An absolute fucking monster.
And he does have a World Series, but
he does have a World Series.
That was well before 2000.
Yes, he was a kid, but as you and I both know, that was a very damaging World Series, and he did a lot of damage in that.
He did a lot of damage.
Yes, he had some significant home runs in that World Series that I would really prefer to forget.
Yeah, I mean, even in the postseason, he's a career 278 hitter. I mean, yes. So if you look at his career stats. And he only has played in, 55 games. He had 13 home runs, 38 RBIs, 278, 885 OPS. That is really solid postseason stats. Yes. And that's taking in into account the Detroit years where he was really tried to pitch around. They really tried to pitch around him.
Yes.
I mean, you could make some serious arguments for either him or Pujols as the greatest right-handed hitter of all time.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yep. Indeed. All right. Well, that's my Lincoln.
All right. I like it a lot. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, so I mean, I don't know how many RBIs he had, but he probably had close to 1,000 over that time frame. Do you remember?
Let me see if it was on the.
I know he had 6 top 10 MVPs in that spirit, 10 years or 10, 12 years, whatever it is. 6 top 10s.
He's got 1,804 RBIs
in 10 years.
Well, no. For his career. Sorry.
Oh yeah, for his career. Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to do the math, but here I'll read you the numbers.
No, I can find it really quick.
126, 105, 139, 137, 109, 76, 108.
If you just 16. If you click on the year, and then go down to another year, it gives you the stats. If you're looking at Baseball Reference. I
took screenshots, so I didn't do the. I don't have the math right in front of me, but yeah, I mean it's a lot. It's a lot. I
want to actually know what that was.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then skip 15 because that was not good. Then 16. We're all.
He's got 1,051 RBIs over that time frame.
There you go.
875 runs scored.
Yeah.
A batting average of 310
Yeah.
in that period.
Unreal.
916 OPS.
My only wish for Miguel Cabrera,
293 homers.
I just don't want him to stay around too long. Like, I don't want his numbers to especially his batting average. Like, I want him to retire with a batting average over 300, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't stick around and have like a really bad year that really just damages your batting average, you know?
Word.
By the way, I have a really good Mount Rushmore one for us to add to the wheel after this is done. But remind me of that, please, before we go.
Okay. All right. So my number 2, I guess.
Number 2.
My Teddy Rose is going to be
Theodore.
is going to be another pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I do. Because it's probably the same one I have. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch. It's Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Well, then I'll let you run through all the shit, and then if you miss anything, I'll add on to it, and then we can move on to the next one.
Quick is...
But by the way, he's my Jefferson, though, so...
Oh, okay. So,
whatever.
3 Cy Youngs, 2,780 Ks. That's 400 more than Kershaw. But, you know, Kershaw was a little more hurt during that time.
Yes.
But still, that's impressive. Over that span, a 3.09 ERA, which is part of the reason why I couldn't put him in there. He does have a World Series. He obviously pitched better than Kershaw in the postseason. Not significantly better, but better. And he's got 68, I think, % winning percentage, with a 1.061 whip over that time frame. So those numbers right there, you know, 3 Cy Youngs, he did not win an MVP, but he has so many accolades and he struck out so many batters and he just really turned a corner. And he had like from early on in Detroit, and then he just started pitching lights out and really made his career something special. So I have him as my Teddy.
So he's my Jefferson. 4 times in that span led the league in wins. You already mentioned that he was a 3-time Cy Young winner, a 4 times win leader, which I just mentioned, a 3-time strikeout leader in 16, 17, and 18, and a World Series champion in 19. One of the best pitchers of our generation and one of the greatest competitors I've ever seen in any sport.
Yes. He
Period.
definitely is one of those throwbacks. He likes
so
who do you got for who you got for Teddy then?
So for my Teddy, and this is where I had to make a personal preference. And I left Kershaw off only because I knew you would have him on.
You'd heard Mad Bum.
No,
wow.
Believe it or not. This is a different personal preference. And Mad Bum. So I only had 2 honorable mentions, which I'll just tell you right now, Kershaw and Mad Bum. And yes, nobody loves Mad Bum more than me, right? He is, as I call him, the legend of the fall.
The postseason career. I mean, if you look at his regular season stats, they're nothing like great. Like you don't look at it and you're like, wow. But postseason comes and you're kind of like, wow.
The guy that I have though is a surefire Hall of Famer.
I think all of these guys are. Yeah.
He's won an MVP. He has led the league in a number of statistical categories in his time. And he's just one of those guys that I really enjoy rooting for one reason or another. And so he's a 6-time All-Star. He has won 1 Gold Glove. He has won an MVP in this span. Okay. In a number of these years, he led the league in walks, on base percentage, slugging, OPS, and OPS plus. And his name is Joey Votto.
Oh, okay.
The first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, I like Votto a lot. I have him as an honorable mention.
He's a lifetime 302 hitter. He has 331 career home runs and 1,065 RBIs. He is without a doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt. And he has been the face of that team since 2007. And he's a fun guy. He's a very fun, witty, kind of interactive player, especially with the fans. And he's to be one of the sort of unheralded heroes of baseball. And I just love watching him. I love watching him play. Objectively speaking, are there guys who probably should be on this list before him? Yeah. I mean, Kershaw should be. But like I said, I knew you'd have Kershaw covered. And I knew one, if not both of us, would have Mad Bum in the conversation as an honorable mention. So, but I love Joey Votto.
And I can give you a little bit more of like the overall stats from him over the course of the, 2010 to 2021.
Yep.
He had, so this guy is known for walking, and it's very impressive to see 1,258 strikeouts to 1,160 walks.
Yes. Yep.
Which is why his OPS is 939 over that period. He had his batting average is 300 on the dot over that span. 278 home runs, 880 RBIs, 952 runs. Like he's more runs than RBIs. Like that's also very impressive. And I mean, there was times where he's batting first and second, and he just wasn't always a number 3 hitter. Just a very talented player, and
yes, he is.
And
he really is.
Great defensive player. Just he is an underrated.
He only won one Gold Glove, but yes, he's an underrated defensive player.
But he is an exceptional defensive player.
Yeah, first base is just one of those weird positions, though, when it comes to Gold Glove, right? Like again, you can play 20 games and win one, so. I take it with a grain of salt. He's very reliable at first. Very, very reliable.
Oh, you know what I want to talk about real briefly after we're done with this?
Sure.
Correa and Jeter.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Real briefly. Just briefly after that. Anyway, so you had, as your Teddy, you had Votto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that pick. He was an honorable mention for me, although I did have 40 of them, so.
Yeah. I gave you my 2. Kershaw, Mad Bum.
Yeah.
Leave it
and
there.
my TJ Jefferson, Miguel Cabrera.
There you go.
He's my Miggy. I love Miggy so much. He's such a fun-loving guy. Loves baseball. Has been in it forever. And he had a 15-year span of just complete and utter dominance.
Yeah, dominance. Yeah. Right.
I mean,
just unbelievable.
I mean, people remember people like Frank Thomas, who had just spans like Juan Gonzalez, and those times where there was like a 7-year span of just complete dominance. He did this for over a decade.
That's a good comp.
Like Albert Pujols is another guy that's like, you could have put Albert Pujols in this list, but the problem is his batting average wasn't as low. He was more of a home run hitter and less of the hitter he used to be.
If this had been a list of the 2000 to 2010, Pujols would be in this list.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's not on this list. I don't even think I had him really. Well, yeah, he's close. I mean, I didn't have him as an honorable mention because a lot of his damage was done, like I said earlier. Actually, that's a good comp, though, for Miguel Cabrera. You mentioned Frank Thomas. The Big Hurt is a really, really good comparison for Miguel Cabrera.
Pujols has 313 home runs from 2010 to now.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
There's probably not many other guys who have done that. So
yeah, I mean that's a lot. But he was striking out a ton more. He was still walking, but not anywhere near as much.
It just wasn't the best. Yeah, I mean
1,038 RBIs, 800 runs scored. You can still make arguments for him, even though his batting average,
without a doubt.
You think of Albert Pujols, you think career almost 300 hitter, right? If you look at this 12 year period, 265.
Yeah, it's hurt him.
And that's mainly come from the last, from 2013 on. His last year that he batted above 280 was 2012. And he doesn't have an MVP during that time.
Yeah.
But he finished second in the MVP voting, and he won a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger, and is an All-Star that year. And he has four top 20 MVP.
See, like all the position players you and I mentioned, all had MVPs.
Yeah.
Including Votto.
But you could definitely make an argument for sure. And he just came off back-to-back MVP. 2008 and 2009, MVP.
Hey, listen, like I said, if this was 2000 to 2010, he might be your Washington.
This was 2007 or 2005
Yeah.
to 2010.
Yeah, he's like a tweener. He's like it's almost like if it was like,
he's been playing so long.
He's been playing exactly. He's just been playing forever.
For over 20 years.
Yeah, what a career. What a special guy.
All right.
So does that leave? Oh, so that was you did your Washington.
I did not. That was
you did. Sorry,
that was my Jefferson.
I'm sure our Washington's the same. So
Mike Trout.
Yeah, Mike Trout.
I mean, it's
3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 8-time All-Star, the face of baseball.
Keep going. There's more.
The best center fielder in the I don't know, whatever. I mean, just
200 stolen bases.
Stolen bases.
OPS over 1.
The only glaring omission from his resume is a championship, and that's not his fault.
310 home runs, 816 RBIs, 967 runs, 1,400 hits. And that's for a guy who has several years throughout there where he did not play he played like half a season.
Right. Yeah. Yes. He's the best.
But no Gold Gloves.
Yeah, no. He is probably the.
So every year in the league, except for this year, every year in the league that he's been in, he's finished in the top 5 in MVP voting. 2000.
Barry Bonds is probably the best overall baseball player I've ever seen, just removing the steroid thing from it.
His arm isn't very good.
But Mike Trout is like right there. I mean, he is just he's unbelievable to watch. His bat speed, he's just great. He just does everything well. I mean, and so he does some things great, and there's not anything he does really bad.
His arm is probably the worst as well, but it's still not a bad arm.
Right, but it's a serviceable.
It's an average arm.
Yeah. He's just the best baseball player of our lifetime. His biggest
problem is staying healthy.
Yes, that is a problem for him.
And so I'm going to take 2011 out because he only played 40 games, so you can't really count that. But 2012 on, MVP 2, MVP 2, MVP 1, MVP 2, MVP 1, MVP 4, MVP 2, MVP 1, MVP 5.
Nuts.
And he only played 53 games in 2020. MVP. I mean, it was a shortened season, but MVP 5. 134 games. He won the MVP.
Some guys would kill just to be in the top 5 of MVP voting. That's a down year for him.
Yeah. If he's not top 3, it's like, what the hell was I doing?
Right.
And this last year.
What went wrong?
This last year is another year. 36 games. He had 40 games that other year. He made the All-Star team this year.
Yeah.
But
so,
obviously.
A couple of things. Like, he does strike out a little bit too. But that, listen, power hitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, if you
look at
ready? 136 strikeouts, 110 walks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's striking out, but he's walking a ton. 137, 116, 124, 122.
Yeah.
He's led the league in walks 3 times.
Yeah. So in that span, he led the league. This is one of my favorite categories, especially as a Ricky Henderson fan. And I feel that there's an intrinsic amount of value in this category, but he 4 times led the league in runs scored in that span. And I believe runs scored is a very, very important, underrated category.
I mean, if you look at almost every major stat,
only once led in RBIs though.
Runs scored 4 times, RBIs once.
Never
home runs, but he's been close. No. And then stolen bases once, walks 3 times, led the league in strikeouts once.
Yes,
on base percentage, he led the league 4 times. Slugging percentage 3 times. OPS 4 times.
And what is his lifetime WAR? It's got to be outrageous. It's got to be like 60 or something.
76.1.
Holy shit. I said 60 and I thought that might have been an exaggeration. No. 76.1. That's obscene.
Yeah. His career, 305 batting average, 967 runs scored, 816 RBIs, 203 stolen bases, 419 on base percentage, 583 slugging, 1.002 OPS, and a 176 OPS plus.
So, okay. So my honorable mentions are really just Kershaw, Mad Bum. Those are the kind of guys I basically wanted to cover. So why don't you just run your list off? So,
all right. So the guys that I had on my list for honorable mentions: Buster Posey.
Yeah, I would have put him on there too.
Bryce Harper.
Good. Yep. Just won his second MVP.
Verlander. But there's an asterisk with maybe potentially with the cheating stuff.
That's why Verlander didn't even sniff the conversation for him because of that.
I even have DeGrom in there.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, can't argue about all the Cy Youngs.
Chapman.
Yeah, I hate to agree with that, but I understand it.
One of the most dominant closers from over that speed. He's like the dominating closer over that speed. Yeah. Him and Kimbrel.
Yeah, Kimbrel would be,
Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, sure.
Joey Votto's on there. Adrian Beltre.
Yes, Adrian Beltre, really good player.
Great glove, great player.
Funny, hilarious.
Yeah.
Just all around.
And
a guy I hope makes the Hall of Fame.
And Zach Greinke.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll give you Greinke. Yep.
He's got numbers that compete with Kershaw and Scherzer.
He does.
And he's been pitching longer than them.
He just did it so quietly because of his demeanor.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the guys on the bad list, which is they should have been. They could have potentially been on this list.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Robinson Cano.
Yeah.
And Jose Altuve.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All fair. That's the naughty list. All you assholes getting Olympic coal. Speaking of the naughty list, so you want to talk about Correa and Jeter?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was exciting. I love Jeter so much.
Oh God.
Oh.
Don't we all?
He just comes out. He's like, oh, I can say a lot of things, but I'm not going to. That's great. That's all he needed to say.
Yeah. He's really spectacular at that. It's like it's sort of like the art of deflection. But he can say a lot without saying a lot.
Yeah.
That's just one of it's a gift.
Yeah.
He's always done that. I'm actually trying to find
the direct quotes.
No. I'm trying to find the an exchange that I had with someone over the weekend on Twitter about this. Let me just see if I can locate it. This requires a lot of scrolling because I tweet so goddamn much. This is just where you can play "Girl from Ipanema" in the background as I search away. Mm-hmm.
I could do when you find it. Let me know when you find it.
Yeah, I'm still searching. There? I thought I was, but so very upsetting because it was.
It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
It's funny. God damn it. Where was this?
I don't know, man. But anyway.
Jesus.
So Correa comes out and says basically Jeter wasn't all that great. Like he
didn't deserve the 5 gold gloves.
Yeah, he wasn't a good defensive player. And I don't know. I know he didn't have the greatest range, particularly later in his career, but he fielded everything that was hit to him. His fielding percentage definitely got better as he got older. And he made, even though he wasn't the greatest defender, when you needed him as a defender, there is no other person on the planet that you wanted the ball hit to because you knew he was going to make the play, whether it's deep in the hole and he's throwing people out when he jumps, he's going up the middle, he's spinning and throwing, he's running and doing some crazy backup play to be able to make flips. Like, he is always there, always in the right spot. And you could make a counter argument that Correa is, at least mentally, rarely in the right spot.
Yep.
And if you're coming out and you're saying something about like that, about a guy who just practically unanimously made the Hall of Fame, all those World Series titles, should have won an MVP, but he didn't.
Maybe 2.
Yeah. You could I'm just saying 1 because you got to get one of those. He had some spectacular years.
The one where he lost to Justin Morneau, I think
That's
was
the
the
tough one, yeah.
That's the one where it's like, oh, come on, you got that. You just got that one wrong.
Yeah.
It's
like the Tino and Palmeiro scandal all over again. Like you got that completely wrong.
Yeah. I'm just, God, I either I went too far past it, or because I must have gone too far. When did it happen?
Several days ago. It wasn't that long. I feel like it was like 4 days ago or 5 days ago.
Yeah, that's a lifetime for me on Twitter. It really is. That's terrible. Like I'd be better off I'd probably just be better off searching my actual tweets, because it's just.
Well, it's been exciting.
It was a decent for tweet. I'm sure it has. It's been great. I'm sure it's worked out really well. Yeah, this is just too bad. I'm just scrolling already. It's like, holy shit. Like, I'm just yesterday I had like fucking 100 and something tweets. Oh, here.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Slow down, bro.
I thought I saw something, but
okay. Anyway, it was ridiculous.
Anyways, I'll give you the gist of it, though. Basically, some guy had commented about he had said something to the effect like Correa, like the Yankees always lose to Correa in the postseason, and I think I said something like, something like Jeter, but Jeter just handed him like a big L in the off season or something like that.
That's true.
And it got a bunch of likes, and on top of that, but it was great because the guy was like a military guy. So at the end, I just said, thank you for your service. but it was ridiculous. Like, come on, Carlos Correa, just no. I guess to quote The Rock, know your role, shut your mouth. You just you went after the wrong guy.
Seriously.
Like, Jesus, pick anybody else. Like, pick anybody else but Derek Jeter. Fuck. Like, you picked the one guy not to go after. Okay. So, by the way, my idea for a new Rushmore category. Mount Rushmore. Oh, tell me if we haven't done this already. I hope we haven't. Mount Rushmore of guys who should be in the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame.
Okay. I'm not sure we've done that.
It doesn't sound familiar, but I like the idea because there are a couple that I feel very strongly about, and I'm sure I could fill out the other two. There's one in particular that I feel extremely strong about. And it's weird because, like, on paper, I'm not sure that the numbers totally justify it, but he won 2 MVPs, and that's what makes me feel really strongly about it. That's a pretty easy hint for anybody who knows anything about baseball. They'd probably pick that one up pretty easily, but and let's just say he represented a franchise that won a World Series this year, so that's an even bigger hit. That's probably by George Washington, but that's a little teaser for things to come.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
And then we quickly have to talk about some shows, right?
Yeah, real quickly. Let's get into Shang Chi. You finished it? I finished it. Well, I finished. I started it and finished. I watched it one night. You ended up watching it part one night and the next night.
Yep.
What'd you think?
Cinebros 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Liked the story. Like the entire tie-in to the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed seeing what's his name as the Mandarin again, or the actor of the.
No, don't spoil things.
Was that really a huge? I mean, he was pretty significant. I don't want to say significant part of the movie, but at any rate, what's his name?
He had
Ben.
a role.
Jesus, what the hell is his name? Ben Kingsley, thank you. Fuck, guys, guy's like one of the great actors of our time.
Yeah.
Can't even fucking remember the guy who fucking played Gandhi. I can't even remember his name. Trevor. Yeah, Trevor. Right. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked the story. It was fun. Certainly wouldn't crack my top 5 or maybe even 10 Marvel movies, but saw a solid addition to an already really great library.
I loved the first 2/3 of the movie. Yeah. And it started getting very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, really fantastical, all the fights at the end got a little over the top for me. But
much for you?
Oh my gosh, for the first 2/3, the martial arts in that movie
brought
me back to all the days when I used to watch all the just the Steven Seagal and Bruce Lee and all those guys that just
that bus fight was awesome.
Oh, just all of it. The bus, the fight in that office building all of it was just so good.
Yes,
it was just amazing. Just everything. And even I thought that there were weaknesses like Awkwafina's character. I think that she played a very strong role, but towards the end they just kind of threw her in spots, and I was kind of you could have made that so much better. I'm not going to get into spoilers so much, but she was known for driving a car. That's kind of they were basically setting it up this is her job.
Yes.
And this is what she does. But then they changed her role completely. I was you could have very easily made her do something different. Yeah. I'll tell you off air.
Well, she drove the car in the forest that was trying to eat them.
Right. So. But I felt there was a bigger role that she could have played.
Sure. Yeah.
And they didn't let her.
Maybe she will in a follow-up. There's going to be more to this, obviously. So
yeah. I don't know. There's just better
This just seems to be the never-ending universe.
Yeah, it is. And it's great. I love it. Because it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it, and I had fun with it. And I give it a 7.5. So we're close.
Okay. So we're close, yeah. Okay.
And then I also watched Red Notice, Netflix movie this week.
Yes,
and that I also gave a 7.5.
Okay.
Lot of fun. Love heist movies. This was great. The back and forth between all three of them was tremendous. There is a tremendous twist in this movie.
Is the heist for some kind of golden egg? Because Vince McMahon brought that on TV on Survivor Series last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's a tremendous twist in it.
Okay.
And
M. Night Shyamalan-ish kind of twist?
No, it's like a heist twist. You're
okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cool.
There's a good
right.
twist. And
I like it.
Just the way it all plays out obviously leads into potentially having another one. Okay. Very Ocean's 11, 12, 13 kind of vibe a little bit with that.
All right.
But it's like Ocean's 11 meets National Treasure or Indiana Jones. It's kind of more National Treasure than.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I've been watching, one of the shows I've been watching is on Apple TV called Invasion. And what I like about this show is it's a slow burn. And sometimes I don't love shows like that, but in this particular case, I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't know how this show is being received on Rotten Tomatoes. I actually have not looked it up, to be honest. But yeah, it's called Invasion, and it's kind of what it sounds like. It's an alien invasion kind of show, but it's a lot left to the imagination though, kind of thing. You don't see the aliens very much. It's very, very little. And it's almost peripheral, there's not a lot of direct shots and stuff like that. It's very, very well filmed. There's good suspense in that sense. There was one episode, I think it was 2 episodes ago, that was just so suspenseful. And what's interesting about it is it concentrates on about 5 or 6 different storylines of either families, individuals, or groups of people just scattered all over the world. No real connection between them, just a bunch of different stories and how they are all dealing with the invasion and what their roles are in it. Very, very fascinating. It's really, honestly, it's a really fun show. Fun's not the word. It's a very, I guess riveting might be an okay word.
Okay.
It's got me hooked. It's got me hooked. It's very enjoyable. Like I said, the best way I think to describe it is slow burn. You know, it's not hitting you over the head with everything at once. It's just giving you drips and drips, but it's enough to keep you hooked. And I think they did a really good job with it. Like I said, I'm going to look it up because I'm curious to see what the rest of the world thinks about it. Not that I give a shit because I like it, but yeah, it's called Invasion, and that's an Apple TV. It's an Apple TV show. So it is not well received at all on Rotten Tomatoes. 42%. Actually, it's 44 and 44. Okay. So 44 with the critics, 44 with the audience. And you know what? Agree to disagree. I think it's a really good show. Hey, you know what's funny? This is the first time I actually looked this up. And right here under the critics' consensus, it used the exact words I just used. Invasion attempts a slow burn, but inadvertently lets its tension completely fizzle out with leaden pacing that will leave viewers impatient for the alien apocalypse to finally arrive. See, again, normally, the problem is we live in such an instant gratification world, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm totally at fault when it comes to that too. I'm an instant gratification kind of guy. But you know what? In certain scenarios, if the story is being told well, I don't mind a slow burn. And I think the story is being told well.
All right. Yeah, slow burns are fine. Just got to have the patience for it. All right. And then
there's got to be enough at least to keep you interested.
Yes.
See, for me, there's definitely enough.
And I also started Ted Lasso, which I watched the first episode. I can't wait.
Ted Lasso is just one of the greatest shows that I've ever seen. So
I really enjoyed the first show.
The first season, the second season is good, not as great. The first season, one of the best seasons of any show ever. It really is. That's not even. I'm not even being hyperbolic. It just is.
Wow.
It's just one of the best It's just one of the best individual seasons of a show I've ever seen for anything.
High praise right there.
It is.
All right. Well, I can't wait to watch the rest of them. I got one episode down.
Are we going to spin the wheel before we go?
Oh, I didn't put the Mount Rushmore thing on yet.
Whatever.
I can't wait to have this new setup all done. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, ready? So we'll just make the Mount Rushmore of MLB from 2010 to now to what you just said.
Yeah, should be HOF.
Okay. Ready? No, can't do that one.
What was it?
Franklin and Bash.
Oh.
How is this actually?
Okay. The how is this actually? Is that the harder one to do or the easier one to do?
It depends. How is this?
I can't remember.
This high, right?
Oh, those are the easier ones to do, I think. No, wait a minute. Those are the harder ones to do. Yeah, how is this actually is the harder one to do.
All right. So put this down. Got to write it down in my trusty notebook.
Did we set a rule for that it has to be a movie? Could it also be a TV show? How is this actually?
It's just the Rotten Tomatoes game, so.
Well, the one thing that we can remember, see, this is where the how is this only is so much easier, because you could have a movie like at 70% on how is this only, and you could be like, how is it only 70? It should be a fucking 100 or 90. Yeah. So how is this actually is way harder, because most movies that really are bad are identified as such. There's not so many movies that are really, really well reviewed that actually suck. I mean, there's not as many. It's just a harder group to, we'll figure it out. It'll be all right. How is this actually?
And you can, how about this? And you can actually say it's either the critics or the audience.
That makes it a little. That does make it a little easier. Yeah, that makes it a little easier. Okay.
So the two new caveats are: it can be a TV show.
Okay, and it can be critic, and it can be critics. Audience,
or audience.
It can be audience. Okay, all right, that makes things.
Or both.
Better. Maybe I'll concentrate on a TV show, because there are probably some TV shows that have been really well reviewed that I would just be like, no, that shit sucked. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great holiday.
All right.
It's already here.
It is. Happy
Christmas
Thanksgiving.
Time is here.
Thank you guys for watching. And thanks, Brandon, for making an appearance early on. And
Yeah.
ever since we lost and came back on, you were gone. So unfortunate, we couldn't get our question answered by you. But we will be back again next Monday. And thank you guys for listening. Watch. I'll have my new setup done. Everything will be kind of changed in here a little bit, and I'm looking forward to that. And you can find me on Twitter at EinhornIsFinkel. You can find the show at Shane and Bryman.
You can find me on Twitter at _Brian_man. We have reached the end of the show, but in the words of the immortal Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end, and we will be back next Monday, hopefully.
Yeah.
For another riveting hour plus of Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bryman. Yeah. Stay classy, Planet Globe. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey. Get that tryptophan on and take a nap.
Yeah. Do it. Just do it. And don't forget to hit that slap, that like, smash that subscribe, destroy that bell.
Smash it. Been doing a lot of rock, paper, scissors in the house with the kids. They love that. The girls love that.
Good times.
Yeah.
It's a good way to just solve things real quick. Yeah. Better than a coin flip.
My girls just do it just to compete with each other.
Just compete? Yeah, nice.
Belle gets demonstratively upset when she loses. It's really funny. Like Caitlin will beat her like 6 times in a row and she'll just have like a fit.
You're cheating somehow.
She's got a formula figured out.
Are you wearing a microphone? Rips her shirt open.
And then like we were like
you're wearing a buzzer or something.
She comes in the room. She's hanging out with me last night while I'm watching Survivor Series, and she just does this, and I'm like, oh, all right, fine. We're just like I beat her like a few times in a row, and she's like, no. She's got like this formula to be able to beat everybody at tic-tac-toe. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
But she's got like a formula that I can't figure out. But this one, she's not. She's struggling.
She's working on that formula.
She'll have one eventually, and then it won't be any fun anymore. Because she works out these formulas to beat you. She's like a card counter.
She's got his algorithm.
She's
going to be kicked out of every casino.
Exactly. That's going to be her.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. We will see you again Monday. Bye.
Bye now. Take care.